well, thanks for joining me today. I'm going to be your instructor today. My name is Alex, and a little bit about me is I'm currently a dental student at the U of A. I was fortunate enough a few years back to do my soap carving and get 30 on it, so I was very happy about that score. It helped me get into the U of A here, and I'm hoping to, help you guys, show you what I did with my technique, how I prepared, what I did to practice in order to get that 30, and hopefully, help you also reach your goals and to get into dental school of your choice. Now, I want to make it pretty clear that, when you're doing the soap carving, technique is everything. And you can carve 100 soaps, but if you carve a bad technique, you're wasting your time really, because you're practicing bad technique. And when it comes down to it, if you want to be efficient and fast and to actually carve a soap that's 25 or higher, maybe even 30, you have to have proper technique. So I'm going to show you exactly what I did from my fine lines to my fine cuts to my gross cuts to my shaving and smoothing, every single step, to show you exactly what it takes to get that 30. So anyways, here we have some tools and instruments that you should have in front of you when you're doing your DAT. So I'm going to go through what you need here. So starting with the gloves. Okay, so personally, I practice with gloves. I think that you should practice with gloves. I think that you should use gloves on the soap carving. There's a few reasons. Well, number one is if you want to get into dental school, you better get used to using gloves because you're going to be using gloves all the time. And the main reason for the soap carving is, you're going to go into your DAT. It's going to be early morning. You're going to be nervous. It's the first section out of all the sections. Your hands are going to be sweaty, okay? And I mean, if you've done this before, I'm sure you know, your hands get pretty sweaty, and dealing with the soap, it's pretty slick when your hands get sweaty with bare hands, and that's what I found. So I always use the gloves to act like a barrier between my hands, my sweaty hands, and the soap. It just added a lot of grip. I was able to be more precise with my measurements, and it wasn't slipping out of my hands as much. It also acts as a bit of a barrier between you and the blade, so you don't cut yourself as easily. But I mean, the blade's pretty sharp, so it's just mostly about the grip and making sure your sweaty hands aren't all over the soap, because it does get very slick. All right, so second we have these pencils here. You're gonna get at least 3, and if you don't have at least 3, make sure you have at least 3. So you're gonna get these pencils. You're gonna get a pencil sharpener. You want to make sure that these pencils are as sharp as you can make them. As sharp as you can make them, no questions asked. Like, you have to have these sharp. If you don't have these pencils sharp, well, you're not going to be able to make the fine lines, and your measurements are going to be off. So as I'll go over later, we're going down to the 1/2 mil with our measurements. Okay, so it's very, very important to have these pencils as sharp as you possibly can make them, or else you're not going to be able to do and make fine lines for those precision cuts and whatnot. So you also get this Sharpie, fine point Sharpie, but it's not fine point, and just don't even use this, it's garbage. So Band-Aids. I suggest bringing Band-Aids. There was this guy, he was across from me actually when I was doing my DAT, and he cut himself 10 minutes in. He was bleeding all over his soap. It was pretty gross. He didn't have Band-Aids. No one had Band-Aids. He went to the instructor. She didn't have Band-Aids, and she also didn't care that he cut himself. And there's a lot of people in that room, and she's got to deal with a lot of people. So he ended up not even finishing his soap. It was covered in blood when he handed it in, and clearly didn't get a good mark, and he probably had to redo it. But I suggest bringing Band-Aids because it is very easy to cut yourself. A lot of people don't, they think, oh, well, I'm good with the blade. I'm not going to cut myself. But, when those nerves are racked up and, you're on the spot, I don't know, it's pretty easy to cut yourself. And I'm fortunate enough I didn't cut myself, luckily. But I still brought Band-Aids in. I suggest that you bring Band-Aids in. Just in case you nick yourself, you can wrap it up so it just controls the bleeding. All right, so the watch. This is really important, okay? So you're allowed to bring an analog, 100% analog only, wristwatch into the DAT. All right, and that's totally allowed. So if the instructors give you heck for that, well, it's on the website, so you're actually allowed to do that. What I would do for this is I would take the hour hand and the minute hand. This is what I did too, and I would put it all at 12 with the second hand. So I'd pull the little dial at 12, line it all up perfectly at 12, as you can see. It's all lined up at 12, so it's perfect. When I hit start, it's going to be on to the second for 30 minutes. Okay, I'm going to when the instructor says you can go, you press the little button here. It starts, you put it in the corner, and now you know exactly how much time you have and where you should be along with each 10-minute interval, along with your carving. I feel that helped me quite a bit. It helped to leave some anxiety, you know. If you know exactly where you're supposed to be with each 10-minute interval, then you can actually, you know, feel like you're doing well if you're meeting that goal. So you put it in the corner here, you just kind of look at it periodically. Don't get too fixated on it.